Well, we'll just roll into it. So, Shane Hansen,
Yes.
for the viewers and listeners who have no clue who you
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
who are you?
Oh man. So on the surface, just basic.
Yeah.
Father of five. I'm 45 years old. I'm an old dog. Been married for almost 20 years. I grew up loving art, like, drawing, headphones on, just drawing in like my room and stuff. And wanted to make that a career. My parents were like, "Hey, this doesn't make sense. Like, you're not going to make any money." So over time, I gradually got into like video, uh, and I just kind of took to it like, I don't know, fish to water. Like it just made sense to have the images in my mind of what I want to create, and video I think is one of the most powerful formats for expressing like that audio visual in the mind. So been doing video for like 20, no, like maybe, yeah, about 20 years.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I met you,
Crazy.
we were like, we sold together
2008.
2008 in Pittsburgh, dude. So I've always had that conflict of like, I want to make a lot of money, but I also want to do art, and I want to be financially free, but I also want to like create. It's a tough balance to have the commerce side, but also that creative side. And I'm sure you've probably experienced that.
Every day, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know if that answers who I am, but that's just like, yeah, I'm just rambling.
Dude, you're the exact person I want to chat with. You're the exact kind of person that I've developed this entire podcast about. It's called Everyday Heroes. And the purpose of that, or why I wanted to do it, is when I look at my career, since the moment when you and I were knocking doors, I'll say like that is like the start of my career.
Hmm.
I think of all the incredible people that I've met along the way in parallel, or above, right? Like you and I knocking doors together, Tyler being our manager, Mealy being our regional, like all the different people. And you kind of, you look back and see where people are at now, and they've accomplished some mind-blowing things. And it's not like it just happened overnight. It's been over a decade of good choices, of ups, of downs, and those people that consistently try to pursue what I call personal greatness are so inspirational. And I look and I'm like, dude, I know so many of these people. I want to just chat with them and say thank you to them, either reconnect with people, say thank you, or connect with people I've just never connected with, and see, how did you become this person? You're one of those people.
That's thoughtful. Thank you.
It's crazy. I didn't know that you were into film, right? Because when you and I met, we were knocking doors.
Yeah.
And so you don't really know what people do or want to do or what their aspirations were, or at least I didn't. What kind of art did you do like growing up?
So I was like big into just drawing, like pen, colored pencil, a little bit of painting, but mostly just fine drawing and stylize it in a way.
No graffiti, no nothing like that.
No, I mean, I think graffiti is cool, but I didn't really get into that. But I was in a small high school, and so there wasn't a lot of like notable artistic talent. So I did a lot of artwork for the school.
Sweet.
And like I said, some of my favorite moments as a kid was listening to music and drawing, and some of my favorite moments now as a 45-year-old middle-aged white male is still like doing video work with music on, late at night, creative juices flowing, just like in After Effects or Premiere or whatever, like just making stuff. I could get lost in the sauce, and like time just,
it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's my favorite place.
I grew up super artistic too. Like I always wanted to be like a cartoonist originally when I was a kid. It just came naturally to me, like drawing. I like I like writing like text,
Mm,
something about text. So like graffiti was attractive to me. I never really got good at like the big block letters or spray painting or anything like that, but writing and stuff like that, or really good at like action figure type, you know, something about it I really liked. But I never thought like growing up that, where I thought, oh, I could be a cartoonist, but then like I don't know if it's like the education system or what, but it never really, you're like, oh, that's cute, you're good at art, but once you get into like third, fourth, fifth above, it's almost like there's no money in that career path. So art's cute, but it's not something to take serious.
yeah.
And it's like it gets lost and it just becomes your side hustle.
Yeah.
What was the like path to get to where you are now then?
Well, I have some thoughts about that because I do think, have you ever studied into like the education system, like how it was reformed, any of that?
I don't know anything.
I think I think what happens naturally with creatives in school is inside they're tuning out in a good way to the kind of conditioning that the education system is trying to push into young kids. Like young kids naturally, any young kid, their imaginations are wild.
Hmm.
Their ideas, their solutions, everything, it's phenomenal. But from what I understand, you can fact check this, but supposedly Rockefeller family, they wanted more workers that obeyed orders and not creators and not people that were going to be entrepreneurs or rival them. And so they put a lot of money into the education system saying, here's money, but you're going to teach it this way. And that's where like a lot of the format of grading came in, a lot of like uh, grade levels, like separating age groups.
Interesting.
Because it historically it used to be like the old kids, like the high school kids, they would learn some. The teacher would have to teach in a way that the high school kids would understand and the little kids would understand. And so there's a lot of question based learning. So a lot of the kids in the class were asking questions and reading on their own. And the teacher would kind of like direct and be like, go learn this, go read this book, go study this. And the Rockefellers came in and said, no, we're going to make it like systematized. Check the box. Yes, you graded well. No, you didn't grade well. Like appeal to authority. Like, oh, I have to do this because I want to get a good grade. I want acceptance. Isolation, individual testing, and very military style. And that breeds right into W-2 style lifestyle.
Yeah.
Where it's like issue the badge, put on the work hat, and like go and like, yes, manager, am I doing what you want me to do? Go fulfill tasks. I didn't know it at the time. I do think that most creatives, like when they're in that education system, naturally, in a good way, tune out.
Yeah.
And they're like, this isn't me. And this isn't what's inside. And so, like, I did not excel at school. I definitely was in my own world. Like, I definitely was just interested in like more the creative side and like all of that. Um, but I would say that those kids that are like that doesn't mean that they're not focused. It doesn't mean that they're not dumb. Like they're actually like really insightful. It's just that they're not doing it the way that everybody is making it them do it. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Part of what I was learning is similar to what you said. I think something about the Rockefellers I did know, and like, hey, we want to teach you this.
yeah.
The competition makes total sense. And what I find fascinating and interesting is really up until like our generation, the idea of being creative, like, and making a career and a real business out of it, whether you work for someone or by yourself, really never became a reality. It was like the creators had to show each other like it's possible, and you don't need school, not for this kind of path. Maybe for other people it is, because I mean, I don't even have an associate's degree, and I kept trying, like after summers, to go to UVU, kind of, but it
Yeah.
was like I would tune out exactly like you said. I wouldn't even show up. I was the laziest, and I would just go to check the boxes of make my mom and dad
Yeah.
happy, be in like the social groups or
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah, I never like it wasn't for me, and I mean I gravitated towards music and stuff like that. What did you graduate college or what did you
Mhm.
do? You went to BYU
Mhm.
for
So I did a kind of a weird, well, I made my own major. Like I studied film slash entrepreneurship. So I was interested talking about how I was with like that balance of like I want to do artistic stuff, but I grew up poor and my family like I wanted to make money and I was like I don't want to raise kids the way that I was raised.
okay.
So I saw entrepreneurs. I was like, dude, they are the ones making things happen. Like I gravitate towards that, but I also have this like creative bone in me that I just like, that's my heart. So I got accepted to the film program and I talked to them about, hey, I want to take high level business classes or entrepreneurship classes and film classes because I'm interested in how film and media will one day impact business. And they're like, sounds good. So I kind of made my own major.
That's so cool.
And so I studied film and then I go study business. And I just like that has helped. I don't think it helped in a way where I'm like, dude, I remember everything from my class. It just helped my mind know, hey, when I go work with businesses, this is the approach that I want to take. And I think businesses responded well to that.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, this is somebody who's in creative, but also understands that we need that creative to drive revenue. And so having that approach opens a lot of doors because business people want to know, very much like, okay, I'm putting X input in, I need this Y output, this money, I need this return. And so if you could quantify and show what is happening there,
Yeah.
then good things happen. And I actually think to kind of like keep going on that vein, I think when I was in college and coming up and in the 2000s, it was like every company was like, we need to be a tech company. Every company was like, hey, we got to have our own tech for this, for the multiple or for whatever, and we got to own it. I think right now, most companies, the smart ones, are realizing they need to be a media company too. And they need to start telling their story. They need to be clear with it. They need to be clear with their messaging and they need to start making more content. So I think right now, if anybody comes to me is like, hey, I think I'm interested in getting into media, I am like fully endorse. I'm like 100% go. There's going to be a shortage of businesses that are trying to grab up talented content creators. And it's very competitive in that space, I think, right now.
Yeah.
I don't think that business owners have caught up yet to the idea of what to pay them and how to quantify.
Yeah. Yes.
They still treat it like, like
Yeah, dude.
here's
It's
this porridge in the corner, yeah, just
dude.
they need to catch up to that, the value of it. But
Yeah.
I think that they're realizing it more and more right now.
The Yeah, it's so funny because what's funny about that is seems like the 2000, I'm gonna say 2006 through 10, somewhere around, maybe a little bit more. Everyone was like, I need to be the next tech startup
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the years after that was not only be the next tech startup or incubator or whatever that was, to I'm the CEO of my own company, and now I'm not like with the group, but I am like,
I'm the founder.
and now what is I'm seeing is that the real power is actually the creative. the creator who makes the magic happen. And two things happen in that. One, like the same thing that you and I are doing, which is we build company culture. We highlight company culture. And I'm very thankful for that opportunity. So like to Tyler, to Jason, if they ever listen or watch this, and Brad, the opportunity that they've given me and you and other people to highlight high level company culture, I don't ever take it for granted.
Yeah.
Like this is what holds culture together, and what like companies now are starting to realize, like, how do I keep people? You show them. You not only show them, but you really build it, you highlight it, and then when you create through your media team or your media company, when you create the experience visually, it's a different level that you're playing in. You're not worried about losing people, or you're not worried about faking the culture. You're not worried about the lead. Like it's there, and people gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah. It's like, it's that very much top of funnel. Like if you're bringing people into the business and into the culture and they keep seeing these media pieces up here, the perception is like, that's who the company is. And so,
let me backtrack though, because we're talking about Sunrun or Apex, Vivint, like for a second. They're like, in my opinion, they're probably the only ones that got it. And they got it because of guys like you and a handful of other people. Now other companies are like, how do we do that?
Yeah.
That's what I find interesting. And you're right about like, how do I do that? But I don't want to put money into it. That's what I'm finding companies like with the wall I'm seeing. And I'm new into this, but the wall I'm seeing is like, oh, they just think that anyone with a camera can make it happen. And I'm like, that's not even close. It's
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but I'm just like, damn.
I mean, I have lots of thoughts about it, as do you.
What did you, when you were knocking doors, like in Pittsburgh, I want to kind of like talk a little bit about like, how did this opportunity come up? Because you, and I've said this and you can correct me, but like, I think you were one of the pioneers into what has become like the media for home automation and lifestyle. Like from the summer after we knocked together, and I think you started that, everything kind of changed. So tell me.
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, tell me like how, like did you see like, oh, this is what I studied for and this is the path that I need to do? Did you see an opportunity or like, hey, this is it? Were you like, tell me about that process?
There's a few different things and there's a few different people involved with this, and I'll try to condense it.
Yeah.
So one, I sold, and I think that helped me understand what the job is, how sales works. And if you pull back from like a sales, to me, sales, marketing, training, they all have this like Venn diagram where they overlap. You basically have an audience and you want an outcome of an action, right? So it's like, you want this audience to buy something. You want this audience to become something. You want this audience to believe or be a part of something, right? And that's the desired outcome.
Yeah.
You first ask like, what is the messaging? What's the principle? What's the messaging that will incite that action? And what's the best delivery mechanism of that messaging? Does that make sense? So it's like audience, action, messaging, delivery. And if you get those right, when it's delivered to the audience, it will, like a system, have that outcome.
The desired outcome.
The desired outcome. So it's like that principle for me has been like from the beginning till now, like that's how I approach. I like being involved very much at the higher level of understanding, let me talk to the owners, let me talk to the leaders and be like, what's the problem? Because what I don't like is leaders that just give orders. And what I learned early in my career is like, you need to be a value creator, not an order taker. So some of these leaders at the high place, they're like, hey, we have this problem. We should make a flyer, you know? And so they just send out an order to the creative team and be like, make flyers. And the media team's like making like, why are we making this flyer? I don't know. They just want this flyer. Like, I don't know why. But if you went to the top and been like, hey, let me understand, what's the problem here that you're trying to solve? And like, well, we're trying to get more referrals. So you think a flyer is going to do that? And it's like, well, that's the best idea we had. So that's what the order came. It's like, well, what if we did like an event or handed out samples or something of your product and like made, you know, or make a video or make some sort of contest of like a content and like, oh, wow, could you do that? Now you're a value creator and it's way more engaging and fun to be creative because you're the owner, you're the creator of it, rather than like getting an order that's like, this guy wants, or this girl, whatever, wants me to do this. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think too many times, like businesses and creative teams get in that churn of just trying to stay above water of like all the orders coming in. And so I'm going to answer your question and go back, but I'm kind of like, so I think the answer for that now is to create, help creatives go upstream more and be involved in those conversations of like, let's creatively solve the problem rather than just take orders. So that was like one approach from early on that I felt helped. A second thing was Kevin Swiss, who like notorious in this space. He gave a lesson one time that I always remembered. He basically said, don't do the job you were hired for, like create the job that the company needs or that you want to develop as. That still brings value to the company. And having that shift in my mind, like, wait, I don't have to sit here and wait for them to tell me what to do or who to be. This is actually an environment for me to grow, create, and as long as I'm adding to the bottom line of revenue, then I want to learn this. I want to learn how to do funnels. I want to learn digital marketing. I want to learn the story. I want to learn media. Like, you have to tie it back to the business goal. But that opened the world for me a little bit to understand, like, I'm not going to sit here and wait like how they do in school, say this is what you have to be. I actually can go do it and they're going to pay me to go do that. And they want me to up level. Then it's like, who's that? Like, what's going on? And the other thing that helped early on was a lot of trust, which I will give very much kudos, respect, like Dave Jones, Doug Barnett, some of these guys who trusted me and the team and others to like go create. That is, they understood that if you give trust, you know what I mean, then it's like good things happen. So I don't fit, it was the right environment, it was the right time, it was the right budget. I also think some companies, they like hire they hire the creative team and they're like, okay, check the box, done. Like they're good. No. Like we need budget also to create the videos, to go do the shoot, to hire these people, to get these tools. Like it's a healthy budget to operate creative. It's not just the people, but if it's done right, then like it adds a ton of culture. It adds a ton of more recruits, ton more business. I know for a fact, like all the stuff that we made the company like millions and millions and millions of dollars. People were coming to these companies that were media driven because they saw the videos, because they're like, that's what I want to be a part of. And so it's in some ways it's quantifiable, in some ways it's not.
I was one of those. So two things that came to mind. Number one, I have another vivid memory of you. This time in Boston, my second year, and we were in Tyler's office. And this time you weren't selling, but you were part of the media team. And I remember you were filming, and you used like this little longboard
Oh,
for like to
yeah.
get some
For a
cool
dolly shot.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, what? Shane is in like media? Like, didn't understand, but I partly jealous because I had to go knock doors. And I'm like, shooting on a camera looks way more fun than knocking doors. And that's the same summer that Todd put out one of the videos of him in his private jet. And he was like, hey guys, we're in Cancun. And I remember thinking, like, I took the wrong approach. So this is the opposite. I felt two things. I was like, I didn't look further because that same summer, Boston year, was when Todd and Ty and everyone was hinting at the future.
Mm.
Hey, we're gonna change things up. We're gonna do more like things for the home, and like stick with us,
Oh,
and like we're gonna change the world. And I was a insecure person, and doing a
yeah.
hard job. And I thought to myself, I'm not gonna knock doors for the rest. Like this is dumb, and like, and that hurt me in my career path for 10 plus years. Truthfully, like it it helped me to learn sales process. It helped me to overcome objections. It helped me get money. A lot of positive things. It brought me incredible connections. I held myself back with the attitude of like, no opportunity and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and then and then with sales and the culture of like when we come back here where everyone's like now comparing the young guys, like I left I left the church, and by leaving the church I actually changed and left Tyler's team because
Mhm.
it was one of the mistakes I feel like I've made in my entire life, not leaving the church,
Yeah.
but leaving Tyler's team,
Mm-hmm.
because all the good things that have come in my life came by being around like him and like-minded people like you. All the bad stuff that came into my life were around people that had no real goals. And some of these companies, like I can look at one that thrived, and then I pivoted to this other company that Pinnacle went under in like a year after that.
Mm-hmm.
How, you talk about like the opportunity. I was one of the people, that story is to tell you, like I kept staying because of the media, like the showing the trips or the way that some commercials came out to capture the emotion of what we were selling. That I was like, yeah, that is what I'm selling, or yeah, this is the culture, and it kept me in because it's cool to like, yeah, I'm a part of the bigger picture. And companies, you
But
saw that,
it's also like really fabricated too.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's fabricated, but you're hitting the value of it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not, how do I say it? Like it's fabricated, but when you're in the moment and experiencing what you're filming, it's not fabricated.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, it's kind of interesting because I, when I was young, you mentioned, like when you're young and you're like operating a little bit from fear of just like, like, or just some decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was also in that space too, more than like people probably realize, because you're looking side to side at that age. Like, where's everybody at? Why am I not there? Why am I not this? Why am I not that? Like, and it did a number on me for a lot of years, because I was like, I'm working hard. I should be at this point. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, it also is. the nature of like some of these companies that we've worked for and done media for, it's very competitive. It's very much like there's a winner, there's a loser, and there's a lot of money, and it kind of warps your mind of like what's normal at that age.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I mean, I didn't know it at the time, but now that I'm older, I'm like, there was some a little bit of, I don't want to say like trauma, but once I left that, environment, I started to realize that it's not all pros. Like that there's other things to it that attachments, beliefs, things that kind of like warped my perspective of what's real and what is good and what's, you know. So it's weird operating in this space. Like again, back to this idea of balance of like money and art.
Mm-hmm.
I respect a ton people that are just true purists that are like, they don't care about any of the money. They just create. Like, I'm like, that's so freeing to me. That's actually what I would hope to do one day. But the world and like providing for a family and other stuff, like it's tough. Like you have, bank account just keeps getting like up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's like, dude, you have to take care of that too. And that's tough when you're in your 20s and your 30s.
And your 40s.
And your 40s. And your 40s. But it's like, I think that when you're younger, there's a little bit more of like competition involved and pride and ego that doesn't serve. One thing that, man, I have a lot of different ideas, but I'll just share this one real quick. Like I've operated out of fear. I've operated out of duty, and I've also had moments where I've operated out of love, and the results are wildly different. I think that so many times in my early career and like going through early 30s, I was operating out of fear. Like, hey, I have to, and I also work crazy amount of hours because I wanted to like keep up this reputation. And I also wanted to, that's how I got a lot of my value. Was people like saying, hey, you're the man. Oh, that's amazing. You did that. That's so cool. And it was like so fleeting. It was like a hit where you get it for a little bit and then it's gone. And they're like, oh, I better go make more. Hit, gone. And so I operated out of fear of either losing that or being relevant. And then at times I got into a little bit of like, so there's this diagram. It's like, if I do this, it's like, or like this. And it's like fear, duty, love, and results. Like the best results come when you operate from love. Not that I have always done that, but when I get to a place of like, I'm grateful for what I get to do. I'm grateful for the service that I get to do for people. And I'm grateful for the people I get to be around and use my gifts. And like when you get into that mode, things feel more clear and things feel more better results. But it's really tough and it's always in your face. That kind of pushes you into the fear space. And so I want to get out of that. I find myself retreating there at times. And I'll be honest, if I look back on my whole career, it's been awesome. But I feel like I've wasted decades. Like I've full years of my life that I've wasted operating out of fear. And I can't get that back. I could just learn from that. So that's what I want to do. That's where I want to go. But I'm also feeling like time is going fast. And I'm also feeling like there's so much I want to do. So that's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah. I was actually telling my girlfriend today or on Monday, because I only see her on the weekends. One of the things I really like and respect about her is that she understands that like this is my focus. and she tries to, respect the boundaries of like, you probably need as much time as you can. So I only see her on the weekends. And I call her on Monday at night, and I'm like, dang, it feels like the week's already over, and here we are on Thursday afternoon. I'm like, yeah, the week's basically over. Like, time doesn't wait for anybody. And that's something that I kind of had to learn, was like, you just have to execute. The operating out of fear and school, I think my opinion on that is too many dreams are broken and not achieved because school doesn't allow you to dream big.
Mm-hmm.
School and universities uh will they'll like, hey, things might be possible, but really is like, you're gonna get a 9 to 5 and benefits maybe, and like,
Yeah.
you have to get a degree, and
Dude,
like,
yeah.
it's almost like you can dream big, kind of.
Yeah.
And then you meet guys that are the movers and shakers. They're like, I'm like, I don't even have a college degree, or I'm figuring this
Yeah.
out, or it was an accident how this happened. It's people that don't follow the norm. And in art, it's really hard because the term starving artist, like, whether you're in music, very few musicians really make money. Or how many incredible artists do we know, like art, that don't make any money and it's still their side hustle, or videographers or photographers or designers, right? And I I feel insanely lucky that I look around and I'm like, dude, all of this is because of art
And hard work.
and hard work,
Yeah.
and like, you paid your dues. And I think of my opinion is, you can't teach style, you just have it or you don't. And I'm like you, where I like business, so
Yeah.
I like seeing um money come in, and I'm only barely now, like, I'm not balling by any means, but for the first time I'm like, oh, if I continue on this path, I have opportunity, or I've made good choices that allowed me to like have this opportunity. And what I have found is, you're talking about the love, like the fear, duty, and love.
Yeah.
Like, if I think of where I'm at right now, I'm more on the love side. The fear was, can I do this? The duty is, I need to make it happen, and the duty is to the business. And then the love for me is, I love paying my team members.
Mm.
Sending thousands of dollars is one of the coolest things. And like, and even though sometimes, like you were saying, the business might be really low on funds, and then like a big check comes in or whatever, do I worry about that all the time? But the fact that we have a runway, or the fact that I pay people, and I get to see, like, you met Sonia, seeing her grow in design and photography and get used to it and all these things. And now wherever she goes, her resume is dope, right? Like, teaching people that and giving them
Mm.
a view of what's possible is so rewarding for me. And then, like, presenting good work opportunity to these
Yeah.
to these young kids that are like, I want to do that. Like, well, then let's do it. Like, they get excited about the work. The work turns into like love of the environment, of the people, and then the love in the process yields good results.
Yeah.
And then me, the business owner, I see the product, and because you've seen some of our work, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
dude,
awesome. I love it.
and it's because they're having fun.
Yeah.
And they're getting paid to do what they love,
Yeah.
and they feel valued. And not only do they feel valued, but then they see their work on the big screen. They're like, dude, I made that. I'm like, hell yeah, you made that. Or we did this together, like with the Billy Bites. Like, we did this together. Now look at it. And that's the love where we're at right now. And I think I texted you when I was like, I've been praying for opportunity, because the only way to succeed and bring more people or bring the team is to get opportunity. And so I'm like, like it's gonna happen. It's got to happen. Like if we're doing good work, more good work comes. Like all these, like, and then you and I reconnected and chatted, and I'm like, I had to tell you that because if I don't express and give thanks to the universe or whatever,
Yeah.
like it's almost like when will that come again?
Yeah.
What's your idea on?
I love it, man. It's impressive too seeing your path of like what you've done because to me, you jumped off a cliff with like a parachute, just going full force into it.
Yeah, no
Like
parachute.
moving, no, like going and just you threw yourself right into it, which is the best kind of education. You're gonna get bumps and bruises and burn along the way, but you're coming out of it like way far ahead than most people.
Why do people not make art happen?
I think fear, judgment.
What about yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be the big. Is it fear fear of money, or do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like well, like I don't have any kids, so my risk is much less than anyone my age
Hmm.
that has a family, right? Like if I had kids or anything like that, and I'd tell my wife, "Hey, honey,
Hmm.
so I quit my job today."
Yeah.
What? Why is it fear, or do you think that too many? Is it fear, or they don't want it bad enough?
Mm. So I'll just say something real quick that's kind of funny about this whole setup is like I have thoughts,
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that they're real. It's like
it's your opinion. That's
I'm
fine.
just gonna like say what I think, but it doesn't mean that it's like, hey, that's accurate.
Mhm.
Um, but I have thought the thing that stings me sometimes is when I hear that idea of like, hey, what you want or what you have right now is exactly what you want or what you need. Like, sometimes we live in this space where it's like, what I really want is to have like financial freedom and be in my own like creative shack and just painting. And
Yeah.
it's like, do you really want that? Or do you secretly kind of want to be like, no, I kind of like that check hitting every 2 weeks and I kind of like the insurance and I kind of like the, weekends and I kind of like, you know, so the thing that stings me is when I hear that phrase of like what you're experiencing or what you have is truly what you want, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm like, I think that's right. Like, I think that, and it's like, it makes you dig a little bit deeper to be like, okay, what do I really want? Like, what do I really want to create? And am I willing to do what it takes to get there? I think that that's one thing. So I do think that I also think artists, creatives, any of those people, um, you're making kind of like you're putting a stake in the ground, being like, no, this is it. Like this is what I made,
Hmm.
and you put it out there, and now it's like up to people to judge it, opinion it, and because it's personal and you're passionate about it and you spent time with it, it's a part of you, and so constantly putting yourself out there. And I think that creatives also, at least for me, I have been trying to get over this, like, care what people think about me. That's been like that's been with me my whole life.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want that. But when I put stuff out, it's like that represents me. What do people think about that? That's scary to always do. There's this driving force to be putting stuff out, but then there's this resistance of like, well, what are people going to think about it? So unfortunately, I think a lot of creatives, myself included, live in the land of make believe, where in our minds we're like, oh, I made this and this and this, and I have this idea and this and this, and I could do this and I could do this and I could do this. But it's like, but are you?
Yeah.
No. Why? You know what you're capable of, but you're holding it either because you're worried about how people will receive it or how people will judge you or how that's what I'm, even at this age, I still have problems with that. And I'm still like, I'd say it's a balance of that, but also it's a balance of like time too. Cause like, dude, people in this space, they're working late into the night. They're working, getting up before the sunrise. They're working on the weekends. They are putting in the time and the details, and people don't realize what goes into production. And if you're passionate about it, you stay. If you're not, it will kick you out so fast
Yeah.
because it's so difficult to do. And you have to be passionate about it. So I'm in this weird spot where I'm like, I know what I want to create and I know all these things, but I'm also like, my plate's pretty full right now. And how do I navigate that? So there's a maturity that comes with like sequencing and understanding like, yeah, I can't do everything, but I do care about this, and I'm going to do this here and then here and then here. But
I can't imagine that as a, like what you said, father, and also run, father, husband, and probably other duties. The wanting it, I learned the wanting it in 2020. There's one of the phrases that I heard like maybe 2016 or something like that, and I like really lived by it, was by Chase Jarvis, and he said, "Be where the action is." If you want to get in photography and action photography, then go to the skate park, go to the X Games, go to where the action is, get in there, snowboarding, music, whatever. And so that I was like, yeah, if I want to do it, I got to get involved in it somehow. So I learned, whether it's knocking doors or whatever it is. Now we know how to tell stories about door knocking because, dude,
yeah,
when I tell reps, trust me, I've been there.
yeah,
And they're like, "Have you?" I'm like,
yes,
"Oh yeah."
yes,
I know what it's like to be at like 10:30, 10 p.m. at night in the hood. Like, when are they going to pick me up? Or in the rain or whatever it is. But in 20, you know what I mean. But in 2020, I was living in Los Angeles. I thought that I had made it. I felt so cool, working at K-Swiss as the social media guy and whatever, feeling that acceptance of people that I was seeking. And then I did 75 hard for the first time, and it changed my life 100%. The number one thing that it taught me was like how much time I was wasting day to day on little things. How bad my nutrition was, how bad my mental head was, and how uncontrol how in uncontrol, I don't, if that makes sense, I was of my life and choices. I was reliant on a paycheck that could be gone at any moment. No real savings, no real direction, just feeling cool in the moment. And what I learned in those 75 days the first time was like, in order to really get ahead in life, I need to make every possible choice. You're not going to nail it every day, but you can control a life outcome if you really want it. And in 75 days, I ended up actually quitting that job. I got in the best shape. I did the math yesterday. I lost 17 pounds per month. I went from 150
per month.
Yeah, to 115. 70, it was crazy how shredded I got. Not only that, but the confidence I got in myself and like what I was capable of, and realizing like, oh, I am good, or I can do this. I can control my mind. I can control my outcome. It like made other people uncomfortable because people don't know how to take control of their life. They're used to taking orders. And then that opened up one door of opportunity, and then another door of opportunity. And now I fast forward to today, and I look around and I know that it was that choice of like, how bad do you want something? And are you willing to make the right sacrifices? Because if you make the wrong sacrifices, that could hurt you. The right sacrifices are all the right, only you know what the right sacrifices are. You can't lie to the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I think that creatives ultimately hurt themselves, exactly what you said, do you really want it? Because you're a sum of all your choices. If you're fat, you probably made some bad choices. Probably. If like now I'm on day 65 of 75 hard again because I was like, I need to control. If you want the six pack, you got to earn the six pack. You got to, and it's not going to come overnight or in 30 days or 40 or 50 or 60. It'll come through discipline. And if you want a life outcome, what are the daily choices that you're doing to really make it happen?
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that.
Dude.
Anyway,
But that probably also feeds into your business and your creativity big time, that your mind is clean,
yeah.
that your body feels clean, that you feel you have energy and clarity to it. So you're just like, it's helping your vehicle to, yeah.
I don't think people for reals, like especially creators, well, when you were talking about how you, and I'm the same way, I care too much about what people think.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do I care too much about what people think, I compare myself to the people I look up to. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the worst thing to do because that's not fair.
Yeah.
There are different places in their life.
So everybody's different, and like there's only one Omar, there's
Yeah.
only one Shane. Like there's, yeah.
And I interviewed this kid named Mike Ritchie the other day, and he said what he's trying to do is help more creatives be okay talking about their feelings because the most like successful people are artists. Like Nirvana, he mentioned specifically Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
He said they're also the most mentally like they have the worst mental health. They're just like their own worst enemy, and ultimately like the lead singer of the Doors or Kurt Cobain or a lot of these artists eventually take their life. There's just, they're struggling mentally, but their art is like beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that if artists would take better, and people that have the ability to teach this to artists, if you can like make better choices, especially in your health and mental and exercise, like you probably have a more successful life and you'd probably be less depressed or less things to bitch about.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like, I don't know about you, but one of my biggest fears is like dying and just realizing like I didn't do everything that I came here to do or to create. Like growing up, they always talk about that idea of like, don't die with your song still in you. You don't like that. Whatever that is, that's like, I'm like, yeah, I don't want that to happen. I got to get going, and try to, but doing what you're talking about helps that come out.
If you don't, yeah, I mean, if you, and we're almost done. Sorry, I'm like now rambling, but I just, I'll circle back to two things. Like one is, I look at you and you were one of the people that inspired me to get after it. It is
Nice.
what it is.
Love that.
And I never thought, and I'm not a videographer. I'm not. It's what's.
Yeah, I think you are.
I just like I'm a creator.
Yeah,
That's what I do. And like how you said earlier, like video is a way to show what's in your mind. And I just a gift that has been given to me is just the ability to express myself. And I'm very thankful that we live in a time that if you want to express yourself and it helps other people and it helps other companies, that you can make a career out of it. You don't have to be a baller, but you can. I wake up and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get after it today on my own dime. My question to you, a couple last things, is number one, what are you most excited about right now?
I have a lot of different things that I'm excited about right now. I know it sounds cheesy, but real talk, being a dad with 5 kids, I'm at that stage where I'm in the good old days. Like I look back, like I have 17-year-old and then I have a 3-year-old. 5 kids from, dating, we say dating to diapers.
Wow.
So I'm in the middle of it. it's also that midlife kind of squeeze where it's like, dude, the costs are crazy, the work is crazy, like everything going everywhere. So what I love and what I'm most excited about right now is just the time that I have with my kids. I heard Bob Odenkirk, you know him,
No.
he's in Breaking Bad. He actually wrote a lot of Saturday Night Live
Okay,
skits.
cool.
They asked him like, "What do you miss the most?" And he's like, "Being in home with my kids." Because like once that's gone, that's gone. So what I'm most excited about right now is finding that balance where I'm like, I'm spending my time being with my kids, spending my time being at home and like just soaking all of that up as much as I can. That is like, oof, I love that. Um, I also like cry easy. My dad cried easy. Um, Another thing, man, I don't, yeah.
It's the form energy.
Yeah. Another thing that I'm excited about right now is I feel like all of my career up to this point, I've been learning crazy amount of lessons and how this business works, how this business works, how this team works, how different things function. And I've been like capitalizing and learning and growing and putting in the time. And I feel like I'm coming into this point where all of that is about to like, you can like just like come to form and launch into something that I'm like really excited about. So I think that I'm excited about all the time and all the efforts and all the pains and growing things that I've gone into to like getting to a point where I can, one, hopefully have better motives, like clean motives, two, operating more out of love, and three, have that experience with me to actually do some more impactful things in the creative space. That's like what I'm really excited about too. So
Well,
it sounds vague.
no,
Hey, it
no.
sounds vague, but I'm just
Well,
things are forming right now.
you ever read The
So
Compound Effect or heard The Compound Effect?
I know what it is, but I don't. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite books. I mean, for me, it like helped me just change my life. When I first went through a divorce and I like picked up that book, and one of the pages that hit me said like, if you're going through a divorce, like it wasn't just like overnight. Like these are choices that had happened over time, and
Hmm.
it talks about like this 18-month curve where he's like, you don't really see the impact of your choices until 18 months later. So if you're like you're saying, I'm learning all these things, like you just stack and stack and stack, and you don't see it, you don't see it, you don't see it, you don't see it, and all of a sudden it's like, bam, and people have overnight success or find the business that came out of nowhere or whatever it is.
Yeah. I just think it's like I do believe that the best is yet to come. That's I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about going through a lot of crappy stuff and still trying to keep my heart in a good place and keep it open.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean like anyway.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
my last question is, what is your life philosophy?
Hmm. I'd probably say it's like a puzzle of a lot of different ideas put together. I don't know if there's like one clear philosophy, but I will say something that I gravitate towards and that I preach or talk about is if I could write this, I'd show you it's like there's reactive. And if you move that R over here, it becomes creative.
Hmm.
So just flip the R and the C from reactive to creative. And my life philosophy is I don't operate out of being in a reactive place of trying to let life happen to me and respond to it. I want to have a life philosophy of living in a creative space. Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Shane, dude, thank you so much for taking the time. You're a super special soul, super stylish too. Damn. Um, if I was your kid, 17 years old, and I'm like, dude,
Dude,
my dad's got more style than me, like,
I
I
need
don't know how I'd feel about that.
my son's too cool, man. All my kids, I love them. I need to spend more time with them, but yeah.
That's cool, dude. Well, you should be super stoked of where you are in life, and I know you are, and like your kids. I think the best thing, what's cool about catching up with someone like you is you set the standard so high, like father, entrepreneur, coworker, whatever. And like I was telling Christian, the guy that you're working with, I'm like, dude, you don't know how lucky you are to work with Shane. So thank you for taking the time. I know this will inspire some people, and yeah, man.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thanks.